And just like that, 2022 is officially in the books. The December numbers for the Greater Toronto Area have just been released, and we're going to go over them to see what type of picture has been painted here for 2022. But before getting into those, I would just like to say what a year that was for the Canadian real estate market. First off, I know that it was a very tough year for a large amount of people out there, and the moves made by the Bank of Canada in terms of their 7 rate hikes have caused the stress levels of many Canadian residents here to increase, which is not good. But a good thing is that we flipped the page on 2022, and we're here in 2023 with a fresh start. I really want to bring a positive perspective to the forefront here, since there has been so much negativity surrounding the housing market as a whole. And in the grand scheme of things, the future 3, 4, 5+ years and beyond, they really are looking encouraging for the real estate market. I'm not saying that the difficult times are completely over for those in Canada, but hopefully interest rates can kind of stay where they are for the majority of the year, or increase slightly, but not increase on what seemed to be like a monthly basis like last year in 2022. And a lengthy end-of-year report made by the International Monetary Fund, which is an organization that's basically comprised of almost 200 countries that work together to encourage financial stability, direct trade among other countries, and they have an overall agenda to really increase sustainable economic growth. So they have actually forecasted that rates will peak around the 4.4% mark at the end of Q2 and ease to just above 4% by the end of 2023. This report also just came before it was discovered that there was an influx of about 104,000 jobs in December in Canada. So some experts have put a hold on that previous forecast and predict that the Bank of Canada could be increasing rates at their next meeting instead of maintaining them, taking place on January 25th. While the rates aren't expected to drop super quickly, I think this can be chalked up as a win if inflation is tamed and everything can go according to plan and get back on track. My name is Trey. I'm a real estate agent here in the city of Toronto in the Greater Toronto Area. And if you find value from this type of content, I would like to ask if you can please like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, before I forget, if you would like to book an education call with me to talk about the real estate market, please do so by the first link in the description. Okay, so diving in, the image that you see here is the full breakdown of the total number of transactions and average sale price from January 2022 to December 2022. So for the full calendar year, as you can see, we started off the year extremely hot in January with an average selling price of 1.24 million. Keep in mind that this is for all asset classes combined. February was at 1.33 million. March was basically 1.3. So this number started dipping from here. And this was all due to the fact that those interest rates that I was already discussing were steadily on the rise from this point forward. Also, we rounded out the year with 75,000 homes being exchanged between buyer and seller. This number was down 38% from last year's total, but also keep in mind in the same breath that the average number of transactions usually sits between the 85,000 to the 95,000 range, and in 2021 it was 121,000, but that was hectic on all levels. It's also interesting here is that the average selling price had held from the middle of the summer to July all the way to November and was slightly down in December as we rounded out the last month of the year, and that price came in at $1.05 million. In one of my earlier videos in 2022, it's kind of funny, I had forecasted that we were going to finish out the year at an average selling price across all asset classes at $1.2 million, and the final numbers came in and combined for 1.19 million, so I wasn't too far off. The total number of transactions also peaked in March, with 10,800 units being moved in that single month alone, to only roughly 3,000 transactions taking place in December 2022 at the end of the year. The winter months are usually slower in terms of activity in the real estate market, but this number of 3,000 units in a month is unheard of. Sellers are all playing the waiting game right now, and they're staying put since they're not being forced to move. When renewals come up at the end of some people's mortgage terms is when we may see more inventory hit the market. We also have to remember that homes were much cheaper 4 and 5 years ago. So for example, these people that may be up for renewal, they could have bought a home for $700,000 and not the $1 million to the $1.2 million home that's in the market right now, right? Which is just an easier load to carry even under higher interest rate conditions. The CMHC, they put out a report on mortgage default rates, and they had concluded that they're the lowest they've ever been in history right now, and they're significantly lower than they were 3 years ago. There's also going to be an insane amount of articles coming out showing year-over-year comparisons to scare people over the first quarter, so get ready. No doubt our price is going to be down on a year-over-year comparison from December 2021 to December 2022. That year in 2021 was in madness the entire year, and it wasn't sustainable. Many people will tell you that. And that was the beginning of the sharp increase in activity and average sale price, right? If you go back to 2020, the average sale price was $929,000. In 2019, it was $820,000. So even if the Greater Toronto real estate market corrected another 10%, that puts us around the $945,000 mark, which is still above where we were in 2020. So I think people just have to really take a deep breath and put things into perspective. Does it suck prices have come down if you're a homeowner? Yeah, but if you're planning to hold your property long term, the price will come back. This high interest rate environment has made the barrier to enter the housing market even more difficult and has actually turned many what would be buyers to have to continue to rent. That's why the rental market is so crazy right now. Renters saw their monthly payments increase almost 25% or more in some cases. So no matter what side of the coin you're on, you'll be forced to pay more for your living situation. You really have to figure out what makes the most sense for you in your specific situation. Immigration to Canada is at a record pace, and it's a huge pillar on why the market will rebound and increase in the future. In 2022, we welcomed 431,000 people to Canada, with targets exceeding this level in the following 2 and 3 years. The number of permanent residents Canada welcomes each year is based on the annual immigration levels plan that is established in Parliament. So unless there's a change on that level, I would be willing to bet that both rents and prices will increase in the future. I hope this video was clear and concise and that you were able to pull something of value from this video. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out or send me a direct message and we could set up a time to chat. Until next time, remember to trust the process and fall in love with your journey.